Hey guys, Devin here. Well, I made myself a list of parts for my current streaming PC, the computer that I am streaming to YouTube with. I decided to do some testing, or not so much testing, but just to see roughly what you could get away with and whatnot for stream specs. Now, the results may surprise you on how much it's going to cost. These aren't the parts I'm going to fully recommend, but this is kind of an idea of what you could spend to be able to get a dedicated streaming rig. Now, what I mean by that is this is entirely for encoded, like this is for streaming. This is for, you're using this with a capture card that's going to cost you an extra $200 or 150 or whatever American. It's going to cost you that. Keep that in mind when you keep, if you're thinking about getting into streaming, or you are streaming and you want to offload resources from your computer, this is what you have. Now, these aren't the exact parts I have to a T, but they're pretty much very similar. So what I wanted to show was how you could actually effectively do it through eBay and through used PC parts and whatnot, because I find people will have a habit of buying new. And they burn a lot of money because they don't want the, lack of compatibility, or they don't want this or that. And what I could say is this: older hardware has been tested and tried to the ends of the earth, so you're going to get a much better deal if you buy used. And I'm going to show you in a sec here. Once I get a song up, I'm going to show you in a sec here what you can actually, how much you can get all this stuff for on eBay. I've already put it into a nice selective list here. And I found everything. So eBay and Newegg, because I'm not going to recommend getting your RAM off eBay or even hard drives off eBay or SSDs, although you could, and I'm going to show that in a moment here. But I figured I would just show you what we have first. So you always want to buy your power supply new, but if you wanted to get yourself a used power supply and you don't mind it and everything, you could grab yourself a Core. This is again what I have. Now, I'm not going to completely recommend these parts, but I'm going to tell you this is what I do have in my current streaming build. So you can buy yourself a Corsair CXM 600 watt 80 plus bronze power supply. Now, I had this, I still actually, I use, this is one of the first power supplies I ever bought, or second or whatever, and it's a pretty good power supply overall. So you can get it for $36.35 with $28.97 shipping. Now remember, I'm talking in Canadian. The American's a little bit lower, obviously, because how the US dollar works and everything. But you can see this person has 100% positive feedback, so they'd be pretty good to answer your questions. Comes with a bunch of cables. So, I mean, you're going to be getting a good power supply here. You could get other deals here, but this is the cheapest one I could find on eBay. Next up, we'll go with the graphics card. So this person sold their MSI NVIDIA GeForce GTX 660 Ti OC Power Edition. I have the AC Strix or whatever it is inside my computer. But anyways, they bought this for They got this for $80, and that's with free shipping, which is really cool when you think about it. So $80 right there, doing pretty good already. This is really what I wanted to focus on though, was the processor. So what makes this build work is the CPU. Now this is a true 6-core 12-thread CPU, and if you look on PC Part Picker right now, you're going to be finding these for about $700, which is ridiculous. You go on eBay, you're going to be able to get yourself a far better price on this one, which is, I think, it makes a hell of a lot more sense. But the problem why it's so cheap, the problem with it and why it's so cheap and everything, is you're going to need a higher end motherboard that's going to cost you a couple $100. You won't be able to go with a $60 or $80 or $100 motherboard. You're going to have to go with a $200, $300 motherboard for this, which is on the X79 chipset. Now this is a rectified motherboard with IO shield and accessories not included, just a motherboard, which is, if you want to buy an IO shield, they're selling those as well for like $5 or $10. So if you really care about it, which you should, but if you care, you could. You could also look for other deals as well. Now the next thing we're going to look at is the cooler. Now this isn't the exact cooler I have. I have an H100, and I paid for that 8 gigs of RAM, the motherboard, and the CPU all for $450. So I mean, if you work out how much that went out to, it wasn't a bad price. The RAM, like I said, there you go. So that's the cooler, and this will be fine. You could also use a Hyper 212 Evo, and that'd be all right for you. But just to give you an idea, if you want good cooling and everything, this will be your best bet. For our case, we went with a Rose. Again, this is what I have. I personally would recommend going a little bit more and get yourself like a Define R4 or Define R5, but this is a good case. It works well. This is a Rose Will Tyfing case, whatever. I got it for my girlfriend for the build that we have, and it's a good case. It has a side panel, and it's not bad. I mean, it fits my graphics cards without too much issue. Has enough slots for hard drives and whatnot. Now, my current build has actually, I think, 4 or 5 different drives and an SSD. So, take that as you will. Next up, we have a RAM, which it goes up for $58.99. Good RAM overall. I mean, 1866 would be fine, but 1600 will be a-okay, especially if you're just streaming and everything. That's what this is for. Last but not least is ADATA's 128 gig 3D NAND SATA 3 solid state drive. Now, SSDs have went down significantly in price than they used to, and for $44.99 you're getting a pretty good bargain. It's normally sells for $59.99, so I mean that's a pretty good price overall. And finally, if you wanted to go with eBay, you wanted a bit more capacity, you get yourself a SanDisk 240 gig Ultra 2 SSD for about $80. Actually, it wasn't real whole lot of much of a deal. Actually, I'll take that back on that. Yeah, no, never mind. Don't do that. It's not a bad SSD. But anyways, if you want to do all that use and everything, that's what you could do. Now, let's talk about prices here. So at the end of the day, oh, and sorry, I forgot, we also have a Western Digital hard drive for $54. So you might be looking at this and be like, okay, what the hell, what's going on with these prices and everything, right? 807.02 US and 108, so 1,086.13 Canadian. However, I was able to actually drop it down if we went with the other prices here by going for a couple other things, and I was actually able, for some reason, to get it down to 965.45. Now, keep that in mind. This thing will kick a lot of ass for streaming. The thing about though is the 660 Ti is a capable video card and will definitely be able to do a lot more than you think. I mean, it's not going to blow your mind. It's not going to be a GTX 1070 or 1080 or 1080 Ti or even a 1060. And if you look at the GPU hierarchy, the 1060 fits right about, sorry, no, I mean 660 Ti, I should say, fits in right about here, which is on par with the 760 and the 950 and the 1050. Now, if you want to keep that in mind, right, you're getting a video card that will normally cost you, if you wanted something that's on par with that, a 1050 or 1050 Ti, you're looking at on Newegg right now for 1050. They're being sold for, $199.99. So for $199.99, that's 1050 Ti. So 1050 is going to sell for a little bit less than that, obviously. You're buying this refurbished. There you go, 1050, 150. So if your money is your absolute concern and you're trying to build an awesome dedicated streaming build that you honestly just want to play games, you don't even have a capture card and you just want to use it for streaming anyways, this will do you quite well. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. At the end of the day, these are the parts you need for a build. Obviously, I have a different case, so this is a little bit cheaper, and obviously this price goes down a bit further, right? Again, I'm just putting it out there. This is what I currently have as for my streaming specs. So again, $161.54 plus $9.42 for the CPU, $82.12 plus $33.02 for shipping for the cooler. The motherboard, $203.26 plus $76.53, which is about to $279. It's a little bit older than that, but obviously, again, eBay. I found another one too, by the way. If you didn't want to get RAM and you couldn't get that, there is actually a motherboard on here as well. Let's see if I can find it. I actually did see it. It is the Ace. It's the same motherboard except the deluxe edition, which is better. And that one is selling with 8 gigs of RAM for about $270, I think. So it works out actually pretty decently. I don't know how much shipping, so it might be a bit more. But anyways, if shipping isn't too much of a concern, there you go. For the power supply, like I said, $36.35 plus $28.97, so that's $68. Again, prices fluctuate as you go. Your your GPU, $80, like I said. Your case, $44.99. Your hard drive, $54.99. Your SSD, $44.99, and your RAM, $58.99. So again, it all works out in the end. It is, and again, you could get a better video card if you spend, if you have a budget of $1,200, you could easily get yourself something better. But like I said, by doing this, by looking around and getting used parts, you can be able to get yourself a much better build that will last you a lot longer. Now, Sandy Bridge E is definitely an older, enthusiast level chipset. and you know the X79 is older, but it's still damn capable, right? I wanted to show you a video here real quick of the i7 3930K performing nowadays, which really what blows me away. 3930K versus the let's see here. I think someone actually has it. A bad video. Let's see. I'm just trying to find a good video here. Okay, so someone tested a GTX 1080 with this. Now this is an older video, as you can tell, 2016. But you can look, if you look at frames rate, it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really not that bad. This is Witcher 3, or sorry, it's Doom, 120 FPS. I mean, you know, so it's not gonna, you're not gonna be bottlenecked really. And if you want to know where the 3930K fits on the CPU hierarchy, so you tell us about that wrong. I didn't actually plan this one out. The best CPUs, the CPU hierarchy, I believe there is one. Tom's Hardware actually has a hierarchy chart. 3930K is going to be, it's under, you know, a 47. Okay, so that's actually how it works out. So it is under the 4770K, but again, works out quite well, especially for the price. And if you don't wonder how much a 4770K actually goes for right now, it is it's selling for like $400 I've seen on eBay. It's ridiculous how much these sell for. And that's currently what I have, you know. eBay.com, you're looking for 4770K, 162.50. You know, it might actually be better, but again, that's in USD, I believe. So let's see, 4770K. Yeah, I've seen them for best offer. People are asking for 46, not, you know, for a lot more money. So again, if you're, it really, how it works out is how does it outweigh things and everything. And how I see it is, it's gonna outweigh, like your price is really, it's going to really fluctuate. You know, it's really going to fluctuate, I think, with how things go. And at the end of the day, I think that your best bet by far is looking on eBay for parts. And I just want to show you that's what you can. You also get yourself a 3820. But yeah, no, the 3930K is a good CPU overall. For 187.12, that's not bad at all. That is not bad at all for what they are asking for. But again, I found this other one for 161.54. It's a bit scratched up, but you know, with the right motherboard and everything, it will blow you away. And that's kind of all I wanted to say there. I know this video is super long and stuff, but that's kind of it. So yeah, if you're interested, get yourself a good CPU. Get yourself a good CPU, get yourself a good GPU, and you'll be happy. And again, if you're just doing streaming, you don't need, this is why the 660 Ti is fine if you're just doing that. And you can also get yourself an Elgato, just to go back to here, you can actually get yourself an Elgato HD60 Pro. See how much they're actually selling for right now. You get yourself one for $214. So there you go. That should be able to cover you. So you add a couple extra $100, so you have $1,200, and you want to get yourself something for streaming, for dedicated. Merry Christmas to you. I'm gonna go. Peace out.